everybody, it's Ben with Team Royell here again today for part 2 of my cnMatrix review. So the first review was a kind of high level, open the box, what's in the box, that kind of a thing. And this one is going to be the mid-range. So I'm going to talk fast because I got a lot to cover today. I got a little PowerPoint to go through and then a few other things at the tail end. So hopefully you can keep up. Alright, so again we're reviewing the cnMatrix EX2010P. So this is the managed switch from Cambium that's new. First looks, so we're going to take a look here at the CLI versus the GUI. So just a couple little things that we wanted to point out. CLI is going to be very reminiscent of, kind of Cisco CLI. So you guys are very familiar with that if you've done Cisco before. Here's just an example of the config run. So the show run command shows all your different interfaces and so on and so forth. And then you've got the show interface. This gives you actual config of the interface. So very similar, like I said, to Cisco days, but there's a few little things I want to point out later on in my pros versus cons. So the GUI is just that. It's a web interface, as you can see here. I put together a few slides for you of the GUI. Definitely an early stages GUI, in my opinion. It's not very graphical, which is okay. But obviously they're cramming all kinds of content into this GUI, which is great. But hopefully, as it evolves, you'll start to see it a little bit more, user friendly. Let's say. Right now, it's pretty good though. This is the main screen here, and then here's an example of the settings screen for your interfaces. There are more advanced settings that you can go into on the GUI. And there are some feature requests I would hope to add to this here coming up in the tail end of the video. So there's just kind of a real quick look at the GUI versus the CLI. One thing I want to point out to you guys is Maestro. So Maestro integration is really nice. So I have a huge monitor and it's zoomed way out, but this is the first look at when you onboard it. You'll see it in your default list. And then the one thing I want to point out is in the upper right hand corner you'll see these little port icons. Hopefully Cambium, I'd love to see on this not just red or green but maybe like an amber as well, that would indicate 100 meg versus gigabit, something along those lines. Otherwise though, if you hover over these, and so I zoomed in on this because this is one of my favorite features in Maestro with the cnMatrix. If you hover over it, you can actually see a quick synopsis of that particular port. So you can see, what it's negotiating at, VLANs, things like that, if it's PoE status, things like that. So it's really a nice, quick, easy tool. And this is what I've always viewed Maestro as, is something that I want to be able to go to and very quickly see all the things that I want to look at to troubleshoot a connection or to take a look at the status of a device. So kudos on that integration feature there in Maestro and for the cnMatrix. So a couple pros versus cons. So I had one of my infrastructure guys put this list together for me, so I'll run down them for you and kind of explain what he was talking about. So it is Cisco-like console, so it makes it easy for configuring it, getting it out the door. That's a pro. PoE auto detect worked as advertised. So we tried a number of different devices, cameras and things. Detected everything perfectly fine, powered them up, works as advertised. So PoE version of this, definitely worth its weight in gold as far as if that's what you're using it for. Both console and out-of-band management are available, so that makes it a very useful tool. Upgrading is fast and easy. So we tried it both through FTP and through the web interface. Both methods work very well. They're very easy to do. And overall just a good upgrade process. And then again, as I stated earlier, the preliminary cnMaestro integration allowing for monitoring and status. Obviously we're going to look for more feature-rich options down the road for that, and I'll get to that in my wish list. Few cons. So Cisco guys, you can't run the show command from the configuration prompt. And so that's just, it's one of those where it's not a big deal, but it's just something to keep in mind that if you're used to that ability, you no longer will be able to do that, or at least currently won't be able to do that. This con is a kind of a big issue for us because I'm sensitive about this. I'm not going to name names, but somebody plugged this into a live network and it took the network down because the default IP is 192.168.0.1. And it tries to route traffic to the out-of-band management IP from switch ports. So Cambium maybe change the default IP or fix this. I think that, and in his other cons, he even made mention, if you remove the IP, upon reboot, it goes back. So it did cause us some issues. However, if you save it and it saves properly by changing it, you can resolve that issue, but it's something that Cambium may want to look at possibly fixing, so that if you just plug this into a live network, you're not causing yourself problems. Not a lot of cons, just a few little tweaks that we would do if it was ours when we were building it. There is one thing that we noted, the little bit of time we've done so far with testing is we could not get the switch to auto-configure ports based on LLDP with cnPilot E400s. We walked through the documentation. This might have been a firmware issue or some sort of setting we missed, so don't hold me to that. But it's just something to maybe be mindful of, Cambium, and maybe they need to take a look at it. My wish list. Rack mount brackets and power cord. Put them in the box. Just include them with the shipping, Cambium, please. I've been with Cambium since the early days of Canopy. Back in 2000, 2001, I am Cambium through and through. In fact, side note, I'm thinking about starting a GoFundMe for a Cambium-based tattoo. It's a tower climber tattoo with some Cambium gear on it. If you're interested in donating, reach out to me in the subject line below, and I'd be happy to take donations, and I will, by all means, get a Cambium logo tattooed on me if you want to support that cause. Otherwise, I've been with Cambium for a long time, so I feel like we're in a good relationship where I can say this, but help me out here, man. If we're paying the money for this awesome stuff, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's worth its weight in gold. It is great product, but include the little stuff, the grommets, the power cords, the rack gear pieces, things like that. Those are things that, man, I'm buying the Rolls Royce. I want the manual in the glove box. You know what I mean? So hook me up with those things, Cambium, and I'll be one happy camper. Other wish lists. I also want to see a number of troubleshooting options in the switch. So things like, we're used to MikroTik around here, so things like torching the interface, being able to click an interface and see what traffic is passing through it specifically. Things like bandwidth tests between switches, between devices. Features like that really go a long way when it comes to troubleshooting, so I'd like to see those. But otherwise, the outdoor unit. So the Wisp version is coming to market. Whenever that does, I'm very, very, very excited to see that version of it. And hopefully we get our hands on that one and test it out for you. And that's going to be my my detailed, low level, bottom of the funnel analysis. So if you, the viewer, have anything that you want me to test, very detailed tests, let me know now. Now's the time. I've done the unboxing. This is the intermediate review. Next on the agenda is the detailed, very in-depth review. And so that'll be part 3 of my 3-part series for the cnMatrix switch. So if you have something you want to see, you want me to test, reach out to me. Don't forget to like and subscribe my YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so you know when I'm posting new videos. I've got a lot more coming. So hopefully you'll enjoy them. Otherwise, I backed up one. That's all I've got. Thanks for stopping by today and watching this video. I know it's a little long and I talk fast. Hopefully you got it all. If not, go back and watch it. Reach out to me with questions. As always, thanks for stopping by and following along with Team Royell. Until next time.